Hi and welcome to Cooking School. So today I'm going to show you how to clean and cut up a whole chicken. Now, many of you I know probably won't be doing this, but this is really in the event that you can't find your desired chicken pieces, or there's only a whole chicken left given these COVID times, and you want your protein. So how I've set this up is I've got a bowl here where I could put the garbage and compost waste, paper towel, because I just don't like sort of I guess chickeny stuff on the counter, and then a bowl to actually put the chicken pieces into. So this is an organic chicken. You can have a regular chicken, it really doesn't matter, but what does matter is that you use a very nice or a very sharp knife. So, but be careful because you don't really want to cut yourself. So I'll just pull this apart. This chicken probably has a bunch of stuff in the inside, like its gizzards and everything else. So I'm just going to take that out. And then the way I've been sort of cleaning chicken since probably I was about 8 years old. It was something that we just did as girls in the family, growing up in England. And so what I like to do is just take the skin off the back first and just pull that back. And once again, just take off all of that. And so what you'll find certainly is in most Indian cooking is that the chicken is always skinned. It's rarely cooked with the skin on. I've actually don't really know of any recipe other than when I make garlic and ginger chicken wings where the skin is actually left on. Now, so I've taken that back so you can sort of almost undress it from the back. You can actually use your fingers. You don't actually use the knife for much of it other than when you have to sort of pull stuff out. Now you can also see on the left hand side, on my left, I have the paper towel handy so that if I need to use that, if something gets sort of slimy and sticky, I can actually just call on the paper towel and grab that. But as you see, it's coming away quite nicely. So let me just take out all of this other skin parts of the neck. And I like to cook generally, most meats with the bone. I don't like, I'm just not a fan of breast meat because I find it less flavorful, let's just say. So I always like to cook where possible with a whole chicken or generally the dark pieces. And especially if you're doing sort of a tandoori, I like that, but really it's your preference. I mean, if you prefer the white meat, then go for it. I'm not here to tell you anything different. And so you see this back part of the bone, so that's where I sort of cut here. And then the same, sort of just feel that sort of back area of the bone and cut back there. So you have these two parts that will then separate from the rib cage or the back cage of the chicken. I have no idea if it's called back cage. I'm sure it's just still the rib cage, whether it's in the front or in the back. But I'm sure we'll have doctors perhaps watching this that will correct me. And good for them. Okay, so let's just take off all of this fat. And so I've always sort of been taught to take off all the fat, and then what happens is that we pile in a bunch of oil to cook the chicken in. So you're swapping out, I guess, animal fat for vegetable fat, because generally the cooking oil will be, a vegetable oil or olive oil or whatever you prefer to use as your desired oil. Let me just take off all of this stuff. So now you have a fairly naked chicken except for the wings. You just pull the legs right back like that. I'm sure that there are butchers that could probably tell you how to do this better than I can, but this is just the way I do it. So let's pull that aside. Once again, take off all of these little pieces of fat. And so you really have a fairly healthy bird that you're going to be cooking with. And then once again, this is where the sharp knife really comes in handy. Make sure your pieces also aren't so big, but remember, Indians eat with their fingers as opposed to a lot of utensils. So you just want to make sure that the pieces aren't super big, because the other part of that is, what I like to make sure is that, you know, we can get this cooked up in about 30 minutes or so. It's really the way I cook a chicken, and this chicken is going to be cooked today in the oven, is I like to cook it with the potato, and as soon as the potato is done, the chicken is done. And there you go. So you've got those pieces there. Do the same thing here. Just, you see the bone pop out there. Pull that away. And let's just pull that through. And that pulls away really easily. Once again, get to all of this fatty parts of the chicken. And I'm going to start with that. And you're just going to cut right down here. Now, if you have a meat cleaver and you're good at using that, feel free to do that. I don't have one. I just have this knife, which is good enough for me. So I'm just going to cut that through. Now, if you prefer to eat with just the breast pieces, you can certainly do that. I'm just going to put all of these pieces in. Okay. Okay, now let's take out this. So if you just bend the chicken back, the bones will naturally separate for you. Including here. Chop that away. And then what I like to do is actually pull away this tender where the bone is, away from the rest of the flesh. And this piece can be a whole piece because it's fairly flat, and then really just slice this up into smaller pieces like that. And then the same thing here. Separate out. Let's pull off all of the fat. Pull that through, and as you can see, you don't have to be precise with all of these cuts. You can just, once again, pull away that tender. There you go. And now you've got these pieces here. Just throw the tip out, because there's no way you're going to get the skin off of that puppy. But this is the way I normally take the skin off of the wing. Just gently push the knife. You're really not actually cutting anything. And there's the skin that's off. Now you've got a little bit of skin there. Once again, just pull that off quite easily. There you go. And the same thing here. Just gently push away with your knife. It's almost like you're pulling off the skin when you skin a fish. And that's pretty good. And then just take off the last little piece of skin on here. And this may be a little tricky, but let's see. We just do that. And you just pull the chicken away. Just like the other part of the wing, you just push your knife against the chicken and just pull that skin off. You don't need to break that up into another piece there. It's just really this fatty piece that you're trying to get rid of. Okay. And there you have it. So your chicken is ready. I'm not going to touch the bowl. You'll see it like that. And there you have your cut up chicken ready to be marinating. Or, you know, if you don't want to cook it today, you want to cook it 2 weeks from now, I would clean it and then put it into the freezer in a freezer bag. So that way, when you take it out of the freezer bag, all you have to do is put it into your marinade or your masala. And that's it. Easy as that.